our ceremony today, we have a reading from Martin. So, do you have a copy of it?
I do.
Excellent.
Do you want us to come out now?
No, you can stand where you are, nice and loudly.
Should have made the title a bit bigger. A university professor stood before his philosophy class and had some items in front of him. When the class began, he wordlessly picked up a large and empty jar and proceeded to fill it with golf balls. He then asked the students if the jar was full. They agreed that it was. The professor then picked up a container of pebbles and poured them into the jar. He shook the jar lightly. The pebbles rolled into the open areas between the golf balls. He then asked the students again if the jar was full. They agreed it was. The professor then picked up a container of sand and poured it into the jar. Of course, the sand filled up everything else. He asked once more if the jar was full. The students responded with a unanimous yes. The professor then produced 2 cans of John Smith's beer from under the table and poured the entire contents into the jar, effectively filling the empty space between the sand. The students laughed. "Now," said the professor as the laughter subsided, "I want you to recognise that this jar represents your life. The golf balls are the important things, your family, your children, your health, your friends and your favourite passions. And if everything else was lost and only they remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, like your job, your house and your car. The sand is everything else, the small stuff. If you put the sand into the jar first," he continued, "there is no room for the pebbles or the golf balls. The same goes for life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, you will never have room for things that are important to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Play with your children. Take time to get medical checkups. Anne-Marie, take your spouse out for dinner. Mark, play another 18 holes of golf. Ian, watch the football. There will always be time to clean the house and fix the waste disposal. Take care of the golf balls first, the things that really matter. Set your priorities, the rest is just sand." One of the students raised her hand and inquired what the beer represented. The professor smiled. "I'm glad you asked," he said. "It just goes to show you that no matter how full your life may seem, there's always room for a few beers with a friend."
Mark and Anne-Marie, the purpose of marriage is that you may always love, care for and support each other throughout the joys and sorrows of life. And today, you will exchange vows of marriage that will unite you as a married couple. These vows are a promise of lifelong commitment, and today gives everybody here the opportunity to meet together in celebration of your happiness and to impart their own messages of love and support to you both. A marriage means making a commitment to each other for the rest of your lives, to developing and maintaining affection, cooperation, friendship and mutual respect. It calls for trust, understanding and encouragement. The ability to listen and a willingness to accept each other exactly as you are. Marriage needs honesty, patience and of course a little humour. And it requires both closeness and distance. The closeness of a couple who will be growing together year by year, and yet sufficient distance to allow each of them to remain an individual. And partners in such a marriage will be loving, caring and above all, the very best of friends. This place in which we are now met has been duly sanctioned according to law for the celebration of marriage, and we are here today to witness the joining in matrimony of Mark Strachan and Anne-Marie Williams. I've got the right couple standing before me now. Excellent. If any person present knows of any lawful impediment to this marriage, they must declare it now. Very well behaved guests. So Mark and Anne-Marie, before you're joined in matrimony, it's my duty to remind you of the solemn and binding character of the vows that you are both about to make. The law of this country allows two people to make the lifelong commitment of marriage, and this legally binding union is to be entered into voluntarily and to the exclusion of all others. So I'm now going to ask each of you in turn to declare that you do not know of any lawful reason why you should not be married to each other. So Mark, you'll be pleased to know that you're going first. So you're just repeating after me nice and gently, okay. I do solemnly declare
I do solemnly declare
that I know not
that I know not
of any lawful impediment
of any lawful impediment
why I, Mark Strachan,
why I, Mark Strachan,
may not be joined in matrimony
may not be joined in matrimony
to Anne-Marie Williams.
to Anne-Marie Williams.
And Anne-Marie, now it's your turn. I do solemnly declare
I do solemnly declare
that I know not
I know not
of any lawful impediment
of any lawful impediment
why I, Anne-Marie Williams,
why I, Anne-Marie Williams,
may not be joined in matrimony
may not be joined in matrimony
to Mark Strachan.
to Mark Strachan.
So Mark and Anne-Marie, you've invited your guests here today to receive their encouragement and their support and to celebrate with you at this special time. So I ask you now, in their presence, to confirm your commitment to each other and to your future married life together. So Mark, do you promise to love, honour and respect Anne-Marie, be her companion in life, her best friend and soulmate, and support and care for her for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Excellent. And Anne-Marie, do you promise to love, honour and respect Mark, be his companion in life, his best friend and soulmate, and support and care for him for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Well done. And we've come to our second reading, and it's Oliver. So wait, do you have a copy of it?
I do.
Excellent.
What does marriage mean? It means Chinese on a Friday, same time every week. It means discussing holiday options every year and then going to Tenerife. It means taking Jasper on a morning walk, even at winter's darkest. It means knowing Dad can't drink, but going for one regardless. It means using your garden to grow lots of food. It means knowing it's just golf when Dad's in a mood. It means football and EastEnders, having a TV each. It means waking Dad up an hour later when he's on the sofa asleep. It means moving house, but only to next door. But mostly marriage means that you'll be together forevermore.
Did you like that,
I
Oliver?
do.
Excellent. Really good, really good.
I think you processed so well.
I think all the family secrets are laid bare in that one. Okay, so Mark and Anne-Marie, you have declared yourselves to be free and willing to marry, so please now turn and face each other. Take each other by both hands. As you call upon your guests to witness your formal vows of marriage, so ladies and gentlemen, please stand to support the couple at this point in the ceremony. So Mark, you're repeating after me, but you're saying these words to Anne-Marie. I call upon
I call upon
these persons here present
these persons here present
to witness that I, Mark Strachan,
to witness that I, Mark Strachan,
do take thee, Anne-Marie Williams,
do take thee, Anne-Marie Williams,
to be my lawful wedded wife,
to be my lawful wedded wife,
to love and to cherish
to love and to cherish
for the rest of my life.
for the rest of my life.
Well done. And Anne-Marie, now it's your turn. I call upon
I call upon
these persons here present
these persons here present
to witness that I, Anne-Marie Williams,
to witness that I, Anne-Marie Williams,
do take thee, Mark Strachan,
do take thee, Mark Strachan,
to be my lawful wedded husband,
to be my lawful wedded husband,
to love and to cherish
to love and to cherish
for the rest of my life.
for the rest of my life.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a couple have done the scary legal part, so I think that deserves a warm round of applause. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. You're nearly there. So, the exchange of rings is the ancient and traditional way of sealing the vows that you have both just made. A wedding ring is an unbroken circle, symbolising devotion and everlasting love, and it will always be the outward sign of the lifelong promises that you have just made to each other. So, Oliver, I believe you've got the rings. Can you please pass Mark Anne-Marie's ring first? So if you
Check it out, give it a
yeah, what she said. Okay, so Anne-Marie, offer up your left hand. Mark, support her hand from underneath. Place the ring on the tip of her ring finger. Okay, so just hold it there, and you're repeating these words after me, but saying them to Anne-Marie. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of our love.
as a symbol of our love.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I have, I share with you.
All that I am, I share with you.
I promise to love, cherish and respect you
I promise to love, cherish and respect you.
in times of joy
In times of joy
and in times of sorrow
and in times of sorrow.
from this day forward.
From this day forward.
And gently push that ring onto her finger. And Olivia, can you pass the honour ring to Anne-Marie for me? Lovely. Thank you very much, Anne. And when you're ready, Mark, open up your left hand. Oh, she's there, don't need to tell her. Nice keen bride. Okay, so you're repeating after me, Anne-Marie, but saying these words to Mark. I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of our love.
as a symbol of our love.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I am, I give to you.
All that I have, I share with you.
All that I have, I share with you.
I promise to love, cherish and respect you
I promise to love, cherish and respect you
in times of joy
in times of joy
and in times of sorrow
and in times of sorrow
from this day forward.
from this day forward.
And gently push that ring onto his finger. Okay, so those rings both on nice and safely? Not coming off anytime soon?
No.
So let your wedding rings always be a visible reminder of the promises that you have just made to each other today. And may this ceremony be a continuation of the bond that has united you over the years. May your belief in and devotion to each other continue to grow and deepen. We wish you many, many happy more years together. And in those years, may all your hopes and dreams come true. And so, Mark and Anne-Marie, having consented in law before me, your witnesses gathered here, and Lucy, the Registrar of Marriages, to accept the state of matrimony, and having pledged yourselves each to the other by the giving and receiving of those beautiful rings, and by virtue of the vows and promises you have just made, I am so very delighted and very honoured to declare that you are now husband and wife, and now you may take a kiss.
What does marriage mean?
It means Chinese on a Friday, same time every week. It means discussing holiday options every year, then going to Tenerife. It means taking Jasper on a morning walk, even at winter's darkest. It means knowing Dad can't drink, but going for one regardless. It means using your garden to grow lots of food. It means knowing it's just golf when Dad's in a mood. It means football and EastEnders, having a TV each. It means waking up Dad an hour later when he's on the sofa, asleep. It means moving house, but only to next door. But mostly marriage means that you'll be together forevermore.
Hold on.
Karen?
Public. Was it just Karen?
Oh, what a wonderful day, and I'd just like to say thank you all for coming. Thank you, Veronica, for being my best man and the lovely poems. Thank you for Millie for being our bridesmaid. And thank you to my wonderful wife Annie, it looks so beautiful. Obviously the hotel for putting us up, Martin for a lovely reading, and Jules Oliver. And we're so happy that all the important people in our lives could be here, and we're really, really grateful. And we love you all. Thank you very much.
So I didn't actually find out I was doing a best man speech till Monday. I thought I was just doing the reading, so you'd have to forgive the notes and the quality of the speech. But given Dad's organisational skills, I'm glad to see everyone can actually be here today. I was a little surprised when I was asked to be best man, but on reflection it made a little bit of sense. Given the age difference, I wasn't around for most of his embarrassing stories. There's also the silent threat of losing the inheritance should I cock it up. Doing a speech to obviously just 15 of you, it's difficult not to address the pandemic, but I suppose in a year where the unthinkable has happened, it makes perfect sense that Dad and Annie have finally tied the knot. They've been together since I was very, very young, since this high, and the only hair I had was on my head, and now I've got hair everywhere except my head. Speaking of ways in which I resemble my dad, we share a quite adventurous spirit, and when we were kids, Dad would always take me and Millie to playgrounds and theme parks, and he'd always be encouraging us to go on the biggest, scariest rides. And I remember once, 3 of us were at a theme park, and me and Dad really wanted to go on this ride, but we couldn't leave Millie just by herself. She's probably about 4, but she wasn't tall enough to come on the ride, so we put all of her hair on top of her head, put her hat on top, so she was just tall enough, and snuck her out. But more recently, things have been a bit more balanced, and I'm starting to match his spirit, and we've gone to go to places like Hawaii and Japan together. And And the first time I noticed this shift, we were skiing together one morning out of nowhere. We were on a ski lift that was a bit wobbly, and all of a sudden Dad lost his nerves, and a few screams and a few tears later, I was the adult looking after him. Everything would be alright.
That's so true.
And whilst we're on the skiing subject, some of you may be surprised to hear Dad can be a little bit competitive and a little bit self-assured. I'm sure none of you really knew that, but one time Dad and Annie, they visited Lapland, and they stayed by some ski slopes, and it wasn't very busy, and neither of them were particularly experienced skiers. So Annie, being a sensible one, decided to take it easy, enjoy the beginner's slope, and make the most of the mountain kind of facilities. But Dad, of course, had to challenge the mountain. It wasn't a far way though. We'd seen people come up and down the slopes in half an hour or so. So he went up there and was feeling confident, but when he got there, he skied into a whiteout. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's when the snow is so thick around you that you can't see anything. So Dad didn't really know what he was doing and just had to hike one ski after the other through snow. Other skiers were flying past him because they knew the slopes and they also knew how to ski, which is quite handy. He was shouting to other skiers up there to help him, getting a lot of confused looks back, and kept marching on for hours. And after 4 hours, he made it to the top of a big hill that had finally taken down to the bottom. And he was freezing, exhausted, and he thought this might be it. Annie was understandably terrified. Dad had been missing for hours, and she'd seen people go up and down several times in the time that Dad had stood up there. So he had to take a heroic leap of faith and edge down the hill on his bum to make it to the bottom. Now, normally men go out in search of blizzards after a few years of marriage, so I think now that's out of the way, you two. It's fine. But taking that leap of faith, having the courage to commit to something when you don't know the outcome, that's what you've got to do for marriage. Now, to me, Dad used to be Superman. He'd run round parks all day with me and Millie on a Saturday, and then on a Sunday I'd go and watch him play football, and he'd score a volley and come and high-five me on the sidelines. But nowadays he's someone even better than that. He can offer me wisdom no matter what's going on, whether I'm dealing with hangovers from hell or we've accidentally offended someone by doing an impersonation of them. We're really that similar. But what I'm trying to say is that Dad has navigated his life, and everything that is thrown at him with a lot of bravery and courage, and I'm absolutely delighted that he's taken a leap of faith to marry Annie and spend the rest of his life with her. So on that note, to the bride and groom.
Oh, thanks, Holly.
Good to meet you. Officially performing one of our first duties as man and wife.
Oh, gosh.
Would anyone like a slice of cake?
No thanks.
Bye.